mother master on a mission. 3-in-1 playing my position. Bypassed queen a long time ago. Spiritual gangster, I was born woke. Born woke, born woke. Spiritual gangster, I was born woke. Born woke, hey, born woke. Spiritual gangster, born woke. Yeah. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We are here. We are one. We are together. And today I need to talk about how to love the unlovable. Is anyone ever really unlovable? Is that a thing? Is there a baby, a little infant, born, newly here? Is there even one that's unlovable? I don't think so. I haven't met one. But somehow when those babies grow and learn to talk, say things, do things, behave in ways that trigger our own insecurities or the things that make us upset with ourselves. When that baby grows up and does those things in front of us, suddenly that baby is a toddler, a terrible two, a very incorrigible, untamable toddler. And here we are with this lovable being who's simply showing us a version of ourselves. And we find ourselves not loving what's being shown, even though what's being shown is the absolute truth in the moment. So I bring this to mind because I just finished watching The View. And as a political deep diver, I prefer that to junkie. As a political deep diver, I am all the way in on what the political landscape looks like at any given point in time, whether controversial or not. Especially now, though, when it's at a peak of controversy, of change, of rapid action that many of us have never seen from any sort of government official, let alone the president, who usually tends to just lumber around and complain that Congress won't do anything and, oh, woe is us, and this is why we can't have nice things. But this president, who I did not vote for, although I agreed with 98% of what he had to say, I did not vote for him because of his stance on somebody else's war.
This president is off to the races, running to get things done, eager to fulfill promises, absolutely energetic about the will of the people being fulfilled. I've never seen it until now. I'm excited about it, and I am all in, like I always am. But especially so right now. So back to loving the unlovable. Watching The View and watching the Democrats struggle and strain to find negativity in what is so obviously positive. Things like transparency, like cutting waste and fraud, abuse, freeing up money for the American people that has been encumbered by bureaucracy and, frankly, grift. Those are all things to be very excited about, yet they struggle and bend themselves into pretzel-like mental forms in order to find something negative to say. And it's hard to watch. It's very hard to agree with, and it's frankly hard to love. I'm not going to take the ladies one by one. I'm going to focus on the one that I used to love the most. The one that's mostly a reflection of me as an artist, as a creator, as a locked woman who has probably started locking because of people like her. And that would be Whoopi Goldberg. First of all, her amount of knowledge is very, very shallow. She doesn't dive deeply. It feels like someone is giving her talking points or giving her cute things to say and a particular angle to harp upon. And she takes it and runs with it. Yet somehow, occasionally, some really serious wisdom flows out of her. And I can only attribute that to her angels, her guides, her own higher self coming through. Because we all have, again, at the core, that lovable baby who came here with so much promise and so much innate lovability. So she says things that are just random and wild, though much better than before the election. Not much better, but better. And I sit there, I watch, I think to myself, okay, she hasn't seen what I've seen. She hasn't been paying attention to what I've been paying attention to, and that's okay. We all, in this beautiful landscape, we have so many choices in who to listen to and how to get our news and how to delve deeply into subjects and so many amazing ways to know more. It's like we all have the Library of Congress plus maybe a version of the Library of Alexandria in our hand, just right there in our hand. So we can pretty much research anything. We can pretty much see every angle of everything if we so choose. If we want to know more, we can. And if we want to stay ignorant, we can. If we want to stay in a cult, we can. If we want to participate in groupthink, we can. It's free will. We all have it. It's what guides us through absolutely everything. Our will to be free and to freely express who we are in that moment, where we're going, what we're going to do, what our choices are, and which choice we will make in the moment. And I choose love. In every moment, I choose love. Often criticized for it. God knows. Because it's hard. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's just easy. Some people are just innately lovable. They're fun. You just want to hug them and squeeze them whenever you're around them. And they're adorable. And then there are those who are more challenging to love. Still adorable when you picture them as a baby. Sometimes I have to do that, for sure. Yet, lovable at their core, because innately everybody just really wants to be loved, to show love, to express love, and to feel love. That's who we are. It's so wonderfully reflected in our pets, in our babies, in nature. If you hug a tree, I guarantee that tree will never drop a branch on your house. Call me on it. I don't know. Who am I? But I'm willing to bet that if you go hug a tree every day, that same tree, if it decides to drop a branch, it will miss your roof. It will miss your car. It will, of course, miss any living being. And it will fall in a place that is least disruptive to you and your way of life. Why? Because if you give a tree love, it's gonna love you back. Everything in nature knows how to love. Energy itself knows how to love. And so, of course, we do. So, do we choose to? Every day, all day, just for the sake of loving? In traffic, do we choose to love? In the line, at the grocery store, at the DMV, do we choose to love? We have the choice. We always do. So I'm going to give you an exercise. This is something I don't do as much as I used to because I have a phone now that's kind of like my best friend. And if I find myself in a line, I tend to scroll my phone. But recently, I was a late shopper on the night before Thanksgiving. And I was in a very long line. And instead of scrolling, I chose to look at every person, the backs of their heads, because I was at the end of a very long line, and just silently say, I love you. Nothing more, nothing less. Sending them that energy. It did a couple of things. It completely released my discomfort with being there in that long line. It shortened the amount of time that it took me to get to the front of the line. And some of those people felt it because some of them just happened to turn around and we made eye contact and smiled at each other. Everything is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only change. Changing today's energy into love. Let's do that. I love you, Whoopi Goldberg. Though you get on my nerves when you start to separate yourself from the love you're capable of giving. Because the one whose name you refuse to utter is just a baby, a little baby who is working so hard for the love of the people who gave him their vote. And I hope you can see that. I hope you can be that. Today is another beautiful day. My job is to love, and I intend to do it to the utmost. Enjoy everything this day brings. Enjoy who you are, who you're surrounded by. Till the next time, Ashe.
A little girl who was afraid to achieve, so optimistic, full of possibility, but scared to bring it cause she wasn't received by her mama and her daddy, and the ones who didn't understand who she was and what she had, even though they could see your life had a plan. Look in the mirror, baby, what do you see? Come on and sing it now if you believe you will rise. Rise, 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 rise. Snatching me from the jaws of defeat. I can be anything that I wanna be. Now we'll rise, 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 rise. I bet you that you got a story too. Bet you do.